up, dude? Oh, what's up, little buddy? Yeah. Alright guys, before we get too deep into today's video, I wanted to talk to you about today's video sponsor, PDS Debt. I had a lucky, unlucky scenario when I was younger where a semester of college didn't get paid for. It went on my credit. I had bad credit, couldn't get a credit card for years from a young age. And fortunately, by the time I could and did get a credit card, I had seen so many friends fall down the slippery slope of the debt rabbit hole. You know, it starts small, it's a pair of tires here, entry fee to an event there, a turbo there, and the next thing you know, they're so far in debt that they can't afford to do any of the things they were doing. They stop coming to events, they stop going out to car meets, they stop working on their car, they sell their projects, and it's so sad to see, and you can see the weight of that debt crushing them, and they're paying every month, and they're spending all their extra money to try to pay off their debt, and it seems like they're not even making a dent, and like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's where PDS Debt comes in. They offer options that consolidate all of your high interest debt into one low monthly payment. So not only can you pay it off in a fraction of the time, but you can save thousands of dollars on interest. I am a big fan of trying to minimize debt. No debt. I try to avoid it at all costs because I've seen what it can do, and debt is the enemy. And if you're trying to get out of debt, if you want to see that light at the end of the tunnel, PDS Debt is actually offering a free debt assessment. It only takes 30 seconds. Head to pdsdebt.com/Taylor to get your free debt assessment today and see what they can do to help you. I mean, they are top rated on Google. They're A+ at the Better Business Bureau. A lot of people have tried it, have seen and found that light at the end of the tunnel, you know? So it's a great solution to getting out from under that crushing weight of that debt. So that being said, huge thank you to PDS Debt for sponsoring this video. We got a lot of work to do, so let's get to it. All right, well, today we're gonna be upgrading and outfitting my 28-foot enclosed race car trailer. So I bought this trailer a few months back now, pretty much right at the end of the season, and we haven't really used it much. We've done 1 or 2 trips with it, nothing really long or far. It's still exactly as it came from the factory. We haven't added anything. We haven't added any setups for our straps, for our jack, for our tools. It's basically just empty as it came. And as we are getting into race season, we need to set this trailer up to be usable at the track where we can have everything organized, have a place for everything in its place, because the way it is right now, if we got to work on the car in a hurry or we need to do something major, it's going to be incredibly challenging. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we dive into the fun stuff, we have a very important, often overlooked upgrade to do, and that is the tires. Now, this trailer I bought brand new. It's probably got 1,000 miles on it. So these tires are brand new. It's not as if they're worn out and they need to be replaced for that reason, but these are the 10-ply tire, which is correct for the weight rating of this trailer. However, in my experience, the lower ply rating tires can blow out. Even in not being overloaded, they have a good potential for failure. The last trailer that I bought had brand new tires on it, and first trip I blew a tire out. And my logic on changing the tires now is that a blowout's gonna cost me a lot more than a set of tires because it's gonna tear up the side of my nice new trailer. Not a risk I'm willing to take. So we've got some 14-ply, super heavy duty, and I think they'll do the job. We've got 5 because we have a full-size spare for the trailer, so we're gonna replace it too. And then donate these old tires to a buddy of mine who has a trailer that these fit on. So just my experience, it's worth spending the money on some good tires. So that being said, I wanna get this knocked out and out of the way so then we can do the fun stuff. So let's get into it. Let's pull these wheels off and start mounting some tires. Wow, you can see how light this trailer is. 2 fingers on the jack. That's a little tough, but this thing's pretty lightweight. here's a quick side-by-side comparison of the two. This one got some weight to it. This one, oh my God, it's way thicker. You can see, I wonder if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, I think so. Look at how thick the bead is on that tire. Kind of see with my hand there versus this one. And it gets thinner on the sidewall. The sidewall is much thinner. This sidewall is probably a 1/4 inch thicker. So again, just a lot more robust. We don't have to cheetah them. Oh, sick. That is rare. I feel like I've always got to cheetah these things. I'll have to top these with the air hose because we're going to need them. I run these about 70, 80. You can go up to 100, but we're not maxing out the load rating. So there's no need to run at such high pressure. One more side-by-side comparison. New tire, old tire. I got way more faith in that than that. All right, I'm gonna knock out the rest of these. All right, tires are done. Definitely a lot better peace of mind knowing that I've got those on there for when we're loaded down mobbing on the highway. So happy we even went ahead and did the spare. So that way if we ever do need it, which hopefully we won't, it's the same tire. So that being said, now that the kind of not so fun upgrades are done, it's time for the fun stuff. The part that I'm really excited about, and that is taking this thing from an empty box with some cabinets to a proper setup race trailer. But to do that, we need to go buy some stuff, or really a lot of stuff. Yeah, we're gonna have to dig R2 out for this one. Well, old R2 earned its keep with that one, and we now have the right size pallet for these legs, so I can convert this to my stand-on pallet. Let's check this thing out. That's sick that it comes assembled. That makes me so happy. I was dreading that the most, that I was gonna have to take this whole thing, or put this whole thing together. Credit where credit is due. Oh, there's a lot here. This thing feels pretty well built. This is robust. There they are. This thing's gonna be perfect. All right, I'm gonna clean up my mess, and then we'll start assembling and modifying this. All right, I'm gonna use this pallet to set it on. This is the pallet I used to use to ride ride R2 up to work on stuff. I'm gonna take this piece of plywood, put it on this pallet, because this one fits between the forks. And then I'm gonna use this pallet to tip that on to put the wheels on. 25.5, so we'll do 38 by 26. We're done with the factory parts. It's time, we gotta put the liners in, but other than that, we're done with the factory parts. It's time for the modifications. All right, well, toolbox is ready to go. As far as assembly, we've got our liners in, a little super glue, keep them from popping up. Really, really happy with how the D-ring shackles turned out. They look factory on there. They don't look out of place at all, which was the whole goal. Trying to make this look as not sloppy as humanly possible. So the next step is to see how it fits in the trailer. We've got a pretty neat setup that I haven't used before for mounting it and securing it in the trailer. So I'm interested to see how that works out. But first things first, we got to make sure it fits and the car will still fit and all that good stuff. So let's see what this thing looks like in there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. We still got plenty of room. It's in a good spot, you know, access to the countertop and the cords for charging, and sweet. All right, well, I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this. All right, so there's our split. So we've got our location marked for where we need to put our track system. Before we start working on that, I want to go ahead and pull this thing back out so we can outfit it with tools. We got to play a little scavenger hunt with our tools, I'll explain, but they're everywhere. tools in my toolbox in the garage, and I would take the tools out that I needed for the event, put them in a backpack, and take them to the track. And then when I got home, I'd have to get them out of the car, put them back. So as time went on, I started to get some hand-me-down tools and create a secondary toolkit. So now I have my shop tools. These are A tier, you know, first string. These are the first string tools. This is all the best of the best stuff, you know, these nice ratchets, these Milwaukee flex head ratcheting wrenches, all the nice impacts, heat gun, right angle drill, all the good stuff. All the good stuff is here in the shop. The second string is here in the bus. We've got our tools sorted through this toolbox, you know, Cobras, pretty much any good hand-me-down tool. We got flex head ratcheting wrenches. We've got a really good selection of tools between the toolbox here and up in the cabinets in here. So you can see we've got electric ratchets, multiple impacts, drill driver kit, speaker, die grinder kit, a pretty good selection of the second string hand-me-down tools. And then there's a third string set of hand-me-down tools in these bags here. So again, impact, drill, bit of everything. And the double hand-me-downs. So we've got a tool set for everything. We've got our tools for working on a vehicle here in the shop, our tools for working on a vehicle at the track if we towed it there, and then these bags are what I take in the car if I'm driving the car to the track. And each set is less complete and less nice. I say all this because we're at a dilemma now. We're currently not using the bus as kind of our priority track setup to take our car to the track, because we're working on it. We're upgrading it and sorting it out so that it's dialed and ready to go, but we are gonna be using it more in the future. However, for right now, the enclosed trailer is what we're gonna be using to take cars to the track and go compete and do all those things. So we could just take the tools out of there and put them in here, but in the future, when both of these are dialed, we're not just gonna use one or the other. Some events, we're gonna be better off taking the bus, like a grid life or something, where it's easier to stay at the track than to get a hotel. Whereas some events, like a comp, for example, it'd be better to take the trailer and stay at a hotel. So we're not just gonna be sticking with one setup or the other. It kind of depends on which one fits the situation better / we wanna take more. So the idea here is a one-size-fits-all toolbox where we can have everything in one place and then just move the place between the two. If we're taking the trailer, we put it in there. If we're taking the bus, we put it in there. And that way we don't have our tools spread out across multiple trailers, cars, trucks. Even some of these tools are actually meant for the bus / trailer toolbox. So this will still stay its own kit, but it'll get thinned out a little bit so that the majority of everything is in here, because this is where we need it most, second to the shop itself. So that being said, I'm gonna go round up all the tools and then we can start setting this up, outfitting it, and organizing it. It should be pretty satisfying. I'm excited to see the end result. I haven't had a good place to put these tools in a while, so let's get to it. Oh. All right, well, we've collected all of our tools from all of the different areas. We got them all laid out on the table so we can start organizing them into the box. We even got the ones I borrowed out of here. So this is all its tools. These are all, this needs to get reorganized for itself, but these all stay here. So we've got everything that's gonna go in the box on the table. Now, a quick run through, quick little tool check. People are always asking for tool checks. So this is the trailer tool check. Again, a lot of these are hand-me-downs, and that's how we've ended up with a good amount of tools in the trailers. You upgrade one in the shop, and then you hand me down into the trailer. If we didn't have the reason to hand me down, probably wouldn't upgrade the shop tools as much, but kind of a win-win, you know? So, for example, you know, like these are a hand-me-down, these are a hand-me-down. I did buy these specifically for the trailer, Knipex Cobras. These and the flat version, these are my most do-it-all tool So I have one of these in every toolkit. Even the bags over there, I bought one specifically for that because this will get you out of a lot of situations. It's a good do-it-all tool. Hammer, I bought this for the trailer. Some adjustables that I don't think I've once ever used at the track. And then my old flex head and regular ratchety wrenches. Got these hand-me-down when I got the Milwaukee ones. Some oddball wrenches that are specific for our setup, like this 1-inch wrench for our hind joints and stuff. Socket-wise, still slacking. You know, I think we have mostly a complete set, but not a complete set of either. But we got a bunch of doubles, bunch of duplicates, extensions, ratchets, all that good stuff. Screwdrivers, these just got hand-me-down. When I picked up the box, I picked up a new set of screwdrivers. Got to hand-me-down these. Some wiring stuff, strippers, multiple strippers, some wire, multimeter, very handy. Didn't carry this for a long time and very useful. Some flap discs, drill bits, things like that, some assorted stuff, zip ties, JB Weld, Honda Bond, Loctite, all the little consumables you might need at the track. This is should be a 2861-20. Yep. So this was my very first impact ever, and it's a Milwaukee mid-torque. And this thing's 7 or 8 years old now. Absolute monster. Still, this thing's probably taken off several thousand wheels. But this is the one I use for taking the wheels off with my wheel socket. Then we got a high torque for the heavy duty stuff, another long reach high torque for the really heavy duty stuff like working on the trailer or the truck or now the bus. And then we got a drill driver kit. And the biggest thing, I was so excited when I got to hand me down these, is the electric ratchet. So these are the older fuel ones. So Milwaukee had come out with the high speed. So once these came out, I got these for the shop and got to hand me down these into the trailer toolbox, which made me happy. So yeah, there's plenty more. An Allen key set. This is a big one. We could not get by without this, especially the vet. So full set. Die grinder kit. This is very useful for helping you in a pinch if you need to grind something. We got a pretty good assortment. We got pretty much everything we need. I'm sure there's a couple things we could still get, but pretty complete set here. So anyway, that being said, we need to get these tools loaded in the box, organized, labeled, and then we should be good to go. So it's gonna be a little tedious, but it should be really satisfying. I enjoy this kind of stuff, so I'm gonna get to it. So I started working on installing everything in the toolbox, and this is always tricky because you're kind of trying to plan out where the best place for each tool is. Do you want to keep all the power tools in one place, or do you want to keep, you know, the impacts for the sockets with the sockets or the ratchets? It's tough to decide what's going to be the most efficient way to do it and where to keep everything that's the most logical, so that even though we're going to label it, anyone could look in here and it would make sense where things were. That's kind of the idea. So the socket drawer is one of the trickier ones because there's just so many sockets and we still don't even have complete sets. But once we got through organizing the socket drawer, the rest were pretty straightforward to throw together. It was just kind of deciding what went together, you know, Allen wrenches and the wiring stuff. It kind of comes down to how many of each tool we have as well. So trying to keep all the abrasives and the cutting and the grinding stuff together, but it's tricky. But I think we've got a pretty good layout that should be pretty efficient at the track when we need to work on something in a hurry. So now that we're happy with the layout and all of the tools are in the toolbox, it is time to label them. I have been a big fan of labeling toolboxes recently just because it really helps for myself to remember, you know, going back and forth between different toolboxes, but especially if you have somebody else who needs to find a tool, they don't have to dig through each drawer. They can just look at the labels and see which drawer has what in it. So I like to label both sides because sometimes there's kind of two very different things, like Allen wrenches and electrical tools. So each side has its own label. That's where that stuff is, and you know not only what's in the drawer, but roughly where to look for it. All right, toolbox is done and labeled. We got everything in here. Probably toss, you know, like my laptop in here, my tuning laptop when we go to the track, but you know, the basic stuff, pry bars, screwdrivers, all that. And then all of our sockets. This will probably be a mess after the first drive. Wrenches, standard, AN, adjustables, boom. Pliers, hammers, Allens, Torx bits, wiring stuff, multimeter, die grinder kit, drill bits, actual grinder, flap disc, cutting disc, all that. And then lastly, the high torque impacts, charger, radio, tire pump, and so it's nice. I mean, it's pretty full, but we've definitely got a little bit of room to expand, which is good because we'll inevitably hand me down more tools into here and, you know, get more odds and ends like this kind of stuff. So now it's time to work on mounting it. Let me show you what I got for that. It's something I haven't used before, but it should be a lot nicer than what we normally use. So normally, we like to use E-Track. We have it in the bus, we had it in my last trailer for strapping the cars down, strapping anything else down. This time, we're gonna be using this. So this is called Airline Track. So this is kind of what they have in planes. It's a thin aluminum deal. It's gonna bolt into the floor, be mounted, and then we can attach different things to it. Let me show you what I've got. I thought about doing E-Track, but it's just so big and bulky, and the trailer being brand new and all aluminum, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So this is what a lot of the high-end trailers use anyway. So we got a couple small ones, but so we got these. Say we wanted to put this hook right here, go like that, we pull this thing up, and then it comes back and locks in. These are rated for some serious weight too. I thought about doing this for strapping the car. I'm still undecided. We've also got this kind here. So we can use either one of these for doing the toolbox. So we gotta basically cut this to length, drill the holes, and bolt it in. And then we can mount our toolbox. So that being said though, before we do that, it's getting kind of toasty here in Florida. We're back in the 80s. And one thing that we have not tested on this trailer yet, and that I would absolutely like to use this weekend, because it's gonna be hot, is the AC. So this thing has a 15,000 BTU AC unit, which should be enough to cool this trailer even on a hot day, but I don't really know because I haven't used it. It's brand new. So what I've been missing is the generator. So we have this spot right here for the shore power for the generator to plug into, and we have a cabinet for a generator. Now that was something I was going to buy when I was at Harbor Freight getting the box. It's one of their 3,500 watt quiet generators, but I have a generator that I bought for the house during the hurricane season. It's your typical kind of loud one. However, I don't have the right combination of plugs. We need to make a cord. So we're gonna do another quick supply run to Lowe's, go get the stuff to make a cord, see if it all works, and then if it does work, then we get to install this track and do everything else we need to do in AC, which, hey, it's kind of a win-win. And we get to make sure it works before we need it this weekend. So let's run to the store. Please be the right plug. Oh, there we go. Nice. All right. So we can use that for now. This cord's actually better for the house. So I think I'll save this for the house and just use this cord, put this plug on it. All right, job done. Cord made. Got our generator plug side, trailer plug side. Hopefully this works. See if it still runs. I haven't started it since last hurricane season. Working. I'm I'm gonna shut the door, see if we can get this thing to cool down. All right, well, it's been about 10 minutes. This thing's really loud. Long term, if we actually make good use of this, we'll have to get the quiet generator, but it's definitely nice in here. What temp do we got blowing out of there? 68 degrees. Definitely better than outside, and the trailer's been sitting in the sun, and it's only been running for about 10 minutes. So running it for a couple hours should give us a nice place to chill and cool off. But that said, my whole plan of working on it with the AC on, it's too loud. I'm gonna go turn it off so my neighbors, give my neighbors a break. And we're gonna get to work on mounting this track. Hey, but it works. Not only do we need to set up the track for the toolbox, we've got a few things that are gonna get mounted with the track, but the first thing, obviously, is the toolbox. So, good to go. Lock all the doors, which is a pretty neat feature. Oh, see how heavy it is. It's not too bad. I admittedly have been dreading this moment where I have to drill through the floor of my trailer that it still doesn't really have any scratches or dents in it, but it's time. We got to do it. It's not really a functional trailer for what we're doing without these pieces that we're adding. So I had to just commit and drill the holes. Now, fortunately, I just went ahead and turned the generator back on, and I was able to plug the shop back directly into the wall and not have to run 100-foot extension cords. So we got it cleaned up, we got the bolts in, and got them tightened down. That should work. Oh yeah, that is solid. That ain't going nowhere. I can say it officially. You gotta say it. That ain't going nowhere. And I'm gonna trim the excess of these down. Alright, well that didn't go quite to plan. But kind of works out better, honestly. Because the whole reason I wanted the 2-to-1 is because this one's pulling it this way, this one's pulling it that way. They're fighting each other and they're both pulling down. So keep it from trying to walk back and forth. Beautiful. Alrighty, well, that is done. Got our little tails cut shorter. Just to clean things up a touch, you know. I hate having that excess there, but yeah, that is not going anywhere. I had to say it twice. Got to say it 2 times. Final piece of the puzzle. Lock those, close that. Boom. All right. Toolbox is done and dusted. It's time to move on to the jack. That's another thing that has to be secured in here, otherwise it's going to go flying everywhere. So I think we're going to do it in the same spot we would put it in my old trailer, which is somewhere right in here. So this is our trailer jack. You can see this thing's a little worse for wear. It has seen some use. So this is a hand-me-down, actually. I was at Harbor Freight one day and I saw the metallic red one here, which kind of matches all the metallic-y red that we have going on in the Vet, and I just couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up. So I got it and hand me down this one to the trailer. Now this one's great for, you know, if you got to do something major, you got to get the car high. It goes really high. It's nice and low, but it's heavy, man. This thing is really heavy, really annoying to move around and deal with taking in and out of the trailer. So we're gonna do another hand-me-down. I like doing hand-me-downs. Gives me justification to get new stuff. So this is the F80's jack. I bought this before Drift Week. It's done 2 Drift Weeks, tons of local events. This is the jack I got to throw in the trunk and take with me. Now this is a much better fit for the trailer. It's, you know, a nice billet aluminum jack. And this was really all we need at the track for working on this car. So we're gonna put this one in the trailer. This one will stay with the bus because it's easy to get in and out of the bus because it goes in the cabinets in the bottom. So then we don't have to transfer jacks in between the two. And then we'll get a fresh one to go in the F80 or whatever vehicle we drive to the track. It's the same as, you know, these tool bags. If we're driving the car to the track, we take these, we take that jack. So we'll get a fresh one for that because they happen to be on sale right now. So I was trying to justify a reason to pick up another one because I really like that thing. And it all works out. So anyway, we need to measure and cut our track to length and then go ahead and get it installed so we can secure our jack and move on to the next thing. So I'm gonna get to it. So much easier to deal with. I think that's definitely way too close. Yeah, it's a little on the close side, but more like that. Yeah. The dust. And another one. Boom. Sick. Alright, the jack is in and secured. However, this piece I had didn't have holes at the end, and it's pulling up the end. So I drill some holes through this, countersink them, and put a pair of bolts on the end. Real tight. Oof. Yeah, that's a lot. I want to keep this thing strapped really tight, so it's going to do that. If we don't put some bolts in there. All right, well, we're dialed now. It's not pulling up anymore. Just needed that extra bolt, and this thing is solido. It is good to go. Man, I'm so happy with how that came out. I'm really glad we decided to go with the Airline track. It's overall just smaller and a lot less intrusive than E-Track, but especially being aluminum on an aluminum floor, it almost looks like the jack's just sitting there strapped to nothing, which is kind of the idea. Simple and minimalistic. Only what we need, none of what we don't. I hate clutter, so very, very happy with that. Happy with the toolbox, thing solid. So the next thing to sort out is the fuel jugs. We always need to bring a ton of those to events, but I realized that until we get a permanent generator, that generator won't really fit in the cabinet without taking the wheels off. So we'll put that in the truck bed, and then we can fit a solid 3 or 4 fuel jugs in the generator cabinet here, which is plenty for what we're doing. So I did have a few more things I wanted to get done. I wanted to sort out some sort of, tote organization system for inside the cabinets here, for things like the straps and stuff like that. Our spare parts are already toted up, but just have kind of a place in the cabinets to put that stuff. We did get a lot of stuff out of the cabinets and moved into the box, so that's good. So we should have plenty of cabinet space, but I'm just trying to keep this thing nice. It is nice to be the first one adding stuff to it, and it looks so good. So anyway, that being said, we're out of time. We got an event to go to day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we got to get the car ready and get loaded up and do all that stuff. So I'm unfortunately going to have to end it here. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what ideas you have for organizing stuff in the cabinets and in general, anything that we didn't think to add. But for now, the trailer is ready enough to go do a 3-day drift event, which is really what we need. So, and we're not taking the Vet this time, we're taking the Miata. So, jibber jabber. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the video, clicking the notification bell. Thanks for all you do, because without you, we couldn't do this. So, huge thank you. Get the Miata back out of retirement. It should be a good time. So, I'll see you for that. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks. I already said this. Goodbye. I missed. Hold on.